band Jammin. I'ma come through slamming. I'ma come through pimping.
Why is your hands over your face?
I'ma come through blimping.
Welcome back, everybody. You're tapped into Jammin with Juice. Jammin with Juice. Definitely do gotta pray for Hazel. Gotta deal with this man all the time.
Oh, yo, why y'all talking about my dog, man?
All right, you guys. So
pray for my baby Hazel, though. I'm actually currently looking for somebody to watch baby Hazel. Anybody want to watch? You want to watch my dog, bro?
No, you don't got that dog trained.
My dog is very trained.
No, you don't.
My baby Hazel is very trained.
Not.
If anybody out there wants to watch my dog, baby Hazel, she's a very nice Staffordshire pit bull terrier, very loving.
All right, so
potty trained.
You guys, we got to get into this because this broke news yesterday and everybody has been discussing it. But the Department of Education has removed graduate nursing from its list of professional degree programs as it begins rolling out student loan changes included in President Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, according to Newsweek. The rule change affects hundreds of thousands of students. More than 260,000 are currently enrolled in Bachelor of Science in Nursing programs, and around 42,000 are enrolled in associate degree in nursing programs, according to the ANA. Critics are arguing that restricting access to higher loan limits could worsen the national nursing shortage and strain healthcare services across the country. Under the new definition, only certain fields qualify as professional programs eligible for the $200,000 borrowing limit. These include medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, optometry, law, veterinary medicine, podiatry, I think that's how you say that one, chiropractic, theology, and clinical psychology. So those ones are the programs eligible for the professional classification, but it's narrower than ever before, and it's got people 100% concerned. So as a result of this, nursing programs along with physician assistant, nurse practitioner, physical therapy, and audiology programs are excluded. These changes are scheduled to take effect on July 1st, 2026, you guys. And we actually have a video of a woman who kind of was breaking down why this is such a big issue and why all of us should be a little bit more concerned, and how this was actually stated as what they wanted to do in Project 2025. So let's take a listen to this young woman on this video we got from Instagram, from IG.
Don't think that people are understanding just how bad this is, so I'm going to explain it to you. For those of you who don't know, the Department of Education is redefining what they consider to be professional degrees or careers. Professions that were cut from this list that are no longer eligible for federal student loans are advanced nursing degrees, APNs and NPs, PAs, teachers, social workers, counselors, speech pathologists, occupational therapists, physical therapists. Now, these were the degrees that still were left in. Notice that chiropractic care and theology are in this. Now, what do all these degrees that were cut from that list have in common? Well, that's easy. They are female-dominated professions. And this was in Project 2025, just like we told you. They, those at the top, do not want women working. They do not want women in professional fields. So if they make it so that the only people who can get into these graduate programs are people who are rich enough to pay cash for it, or people who are privileged enough to be able to qualify for and pay for private student loans whose interest rates are already high and only going to climb higher, if you can't do either of these, which most people can't, you're shit out of luck. They do not want people of color or women getting these graduate degrees. They're trying to force women to become tradwives at home taking care of the kids. Project 2025's plan was to ensure that women and people of color could not be financially independent. And when we can't be financially independent, who are we forced to be dependent upon? Privileged white men. One of Project 2025's main goals is to make it impossible for women to be single parents. They have openly said that they are trying to increase the marriage rate. They don't even care if there is DV. And if we don't have professional careers, we are likely to stay in marriages that are toxic and unhealthy. And I'm so mad because everybody downplayed it. Oh, Project 2025 is not going to happen. This is happening now. I haven't even gotten into the fact that we are in a massive doctor and nurse shortage right now. So even if this whole professional careers thing doesn't affect you, you are still fucked. What do you think those wait times are going to be when hospitals are shutting down left and right? Not only because they are not going to have professionals working at the hospital, but because Medicaid funds are being cut from the big, beautiful bill. What do you think is going to happen to you if you or someone you love gets into a horrific car accident and the nearest hospital is over an hour away? What is going to happen if, God forbid, your child, grandchild attempts to take their own life and there are no mental health professionals available to help keep your child safe and help your child to feel happy again? What do you think is going to happen when there are not enough oncologists to treat everybody's cancer, or not enough primary care doctors to give everybody preventative care? What's going to happen when your child with a learning disability is mainstreamed and told to just suck it up in a regular classroom because there are no special education teachers that can teach them the way they need to be taught? This is not fear-mongering. This is what is going to happen.
All right, you guys, I thought she said a mouthful, but we're going to have to unpack that when we come back. But really, the question is, what is this all about? Like, what is this all about? What is this all for? And why does it feel like, to me, it seems like it is about stripping women from more of their independence. And I just don't understand the obsession around it. But the number is 414-360-8999. What is this all truly about? Why is this happening? What would the world even look like without women working? What does that look like in 2025, 2026, and beyond? Lots to discuss here, but we are going to do so when we come back. Is there anything you want to say real quick, Ben?
Let's rock.
All right, let's rock. Keep it locked, y'all. We got hour 2 coming up. Man, I'm just so sad today. Yeah, it's Friday, but I'm sad because this music makes me sad. Oh, so sad. Yeah, today. And I want to go and play, but I can't because I'm here and I don't have no cheer. That's how this song makes me feel. But
This makes you feel African. Pond the river, pond the river, pond the river, pond the river, pray for Jamaica. Pond the river, pray for Jamaica. Dance hall, dance hall,
I
dance
feel like
hall.
it would have to be more.
Dance hall.
I get the African vibe, the Afrobeat vibe, but for that energy, I feel like it would have to be like a higher energy song. This is like a low vibration.
Sometimes you
low
are
energy
the energy.
song.
Sometimes
Like,
you
it's
are
more
the
chill.
energy. You become the energy, and then you draw the energy in.
All right, it's hour 2 of Jammin' with Juice, baby, on this Sip to That
Friday.
And we're gonna get to our Sip to That Fridays in a little bit, but
Yeah.
first
Shout
we
out to
wanna talk about shout out to Kayla, Miss Nicole, everybody up in the chat. Okay,
Yeah.
we want to talk about this whole idea of women being forced to become traditional wives in a sense, because that's really what it sounds like is happening here by not making the loans available that need to be available for certain degrees, which I feel like it is still a great profession, a great degree. It's like a ripple effect in my opinion, because it's like if we already are having a shortage, like that woman said, I feel like she really broke it down really well for people. But if we're already having a shortage and you aren't allowing for women to be able to afford to be inside of these professions, it just is so contradicting to me. Because if you want people to have more children, but you take away a lot of resources for their children and for them essentially to be able to be independent and work on their own, like, what do you think you honestly get? Like, what do you truly get with that? You don't get more babies. I know that. You get a crippling healthcare system. Like, you get, like she said, longer wait times in the hospitals. And what does that really equate to?
Death.
I mean, yeah, I guess death we've been seeing already so far about how these women are going into the hospitals and they're being sent home in mid-labor. There was another woman where this happened to, where they were in Chicago, and she was forced to have her baby in the car because we already have nurses out here that's not caring about what's going on. So now you want to overwork the ones that we currently do have and discourage future ones from coming in. Why are you laughing?
Well, because sometimes
this is a serious thing.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. Sometimes in my mind, I'm picking the position that I want to play. And I'm wondering right now, should I actually go along with the get along and be like, you know what?
Why don't you just be real with how you truly feel?
Because
instead of trying to pick a side, what do you really think?
I see from both sides. On one end, I mean, for the rebellious person that I am, I told you guys all this was already happening anyway. This is out of Project 2025, which is about 48% complete currently right now at this date. Okay. But secondly, I do think it does bring us back. It does take us back right before the Civil Rights Bill was enacted, right before women's rights actually came along. Everything that people were protesting against in the 60s and 70s and we fought for women's rights, civil rights, all these types of things has been rolled back underneath this current administration. That's what we are currently seeing. And the fact that most women do take up a lot of these different professions, what did it say? It says 90% of nursing is taken up by females. Nurse practitioners is 85% female. Social work, 83% female. Mental health counseling, 75% female. Education degrees, 76% female. And I want to say this too. The most educated women right now in America are currently Black women. And what professions do you think they're taking up? You know what I'm saying? So it's one of these things that I believe that we are being attacked at all forefronts, and then one of the biggest ones they knew they had to take away was education. You just had just yesterday the what's the lady's name? Levitt, the lady who speaks for Donald Trump, Levitt. That lady, she's about 27 years old. She went on to go say that we don't even need the Department of Education anymore, and the government shutdown just proved that. The government shutdown just proved that we don't need the Department of Education. This is a belief that she is living by, but also her being a woman herself, I don't see how she doesn't see how this could hurt her, if not her future children in the future.
Well, because she's being selfish, and a lot of people are only thinking about themselves. And right now she probably feels like, well, I'm getting paid, so I don't really care what goes on with anybody else. And that's what a lot of the higher earning people, sometimes they think like that.
I think it's that, but also it's the idea that this current administration is backed by a bunch of people who believe in Christian nationalism, right? They believe in the whole Christian traditionalist idea. All the progressive ideas that we fought for the past 50 years are underneath this administration is trying to be rolled back. The idea that in their mindset, the traditional household, the traditional home should go back in order. It should go where it's a man going out working for his family each and every day, and the woman going back home being a traditional housewife. Now, for me, I don't think it's that bad for a woman to be a traditional housewife. Where I do find it very appalling at is all of these women out here who do have degrees, and now I'm losing my train of thought. Where I do find it problematic is the fact that, you are stripping women of their own independence, of their own rights to go out and just be themselves. If anything, I want any and everybody on this planet Earth to be able to go out and give their gifts out to the world. And whatever it may be, you may be very gifted at being a doctor. You should be able to go out and get that, especially if this is supposed to be the great America that you're supposed to be living in, the land of the free. However, underneath what we got going on right now, they are stripping those types of ideas. Just like a Carrie Noniju, she has a degree in journalism. Are you telling me one day that degree may not be sitting there because of what this current administration deems to be appropriate and acceptable and whatnot? That will strip her of her freedom.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did something to get rid of communications just because he always saying fake news.
I guarantee you, because of what President Xi Jinping just did for media professionals or social media, whatever you want to call it or whatever, I'm certain that Donald Trump will take a page out of his blueprint book and then impact all of journalism and media professionals up over here with the same thing. Well, with that same concept. But as far as what I'm speaking towards right now, I do think it's appalling and it's alarming that, these, and I'll just put it like this, that people who have this white patriarchal idealisms, they are willing to go to the furthest of the furthest extremes to make certain that nobody else, and I'm talking about nobody else, has more rights to this here America than them. Whether it's white women, black men, black women, they don't want nobody else to have any freedoms here in America besides them, because as they see it, the George Washingtons of the day is who this country is supposed to be for. And if you still have that kind of ideology here in this here America, I believe one day you will go extinct. So
I'm not understanding. My whole thing, y'all, is I don't understand this whole like make America great again thing, right? Like I don't know why they want to go back so bad, because with us
Because
being
they're
in
scared.
2025, with us being in
White
2025,
fragility.
things are just not how they used to be. Like we have progressed and advanced in so many other ways and so many other areas. It's like to want women to be back in the homes and be more traditional and to only have like one income, being like, you know, the men being the working ones out here. It's like, why would you want that? Like our education
Because
system
they are
crumbles,
afraid to
our
give away
healthcare
power.
simple
That's how they
crumbles.
see it.
But I don't even look at it as power,
You
because
don't.
it's
They
like
do.
a lot of the industries where it comes to jobs, people are losing their jobs because AI is taking over them. So where are these white people even going to get the money, like to have one income? Where are they going to work? What are they going to do if so many industries will be end up taken over by either robots or AI? Like where are people going to get their money from where they can survive if they're not, you know, becoming an entrepreneur or something like that? Like that's where I'm just so confused. Like where is this money to keep these families afloat with one income just from a man working?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
And for them to not want to like fund things anymore, and they want to have less stress on the government and less things that they control and put it all on the states, like I just feel like it's all, they contradict themselves so much. And so it just doesn't make any sense. And it's not like computing for me. But I do like what Anita Nicole said. She said, we're just going to dominate another industry, you know, because we know how to shift and reset. And women, of course, we always do. But I think that's why we will eventually maybe start going to just smaller practices on our own and become like community nurses or something like that. Or I do think that something good could come out of this is we do find the framework and the foundation and the structure for us to all come together and things become more communal, because at the end of the day, we're going to have to start relying on each other to keep things afloat.
Yeah.
But, I mean, not right away, I don't think, but eventually so. But it just all doesn't make sense why they want to do it in the first place.
Juice, I will say this. So I agree with everything you just said right there. I personally believe that, sure, they'll try to strip us of all these opportunities to become nurses and doctors and all the job opportunities. They're going to try to strip us from. However, so many people will still be skilled in those professions that they will find smaller ways to go out and still help and serve their communities. You know, especially when it comes down to the labor force that is going to be out there. And I'm saying all this because I remember there was some research that had got put out there saying that a lot of black men and black women had lost their jobs this year. And I remember the time that me and Juice had lost our job, right? And I was like, you know what? I think what's going to happen from all of this, everybody losing their job, is people are going to become more reliant on themselves and going to become a little bit more conservative and we're going to end up building our own communities all over again. And I say that to say, Juice, like, look at what we're doing currently right now. You know, we just said, you know what? If an employer isn't going to employ us, we're going to employ ourselves. So, with that being said,
don't get me started.
But
I could say so much right now about what it is we're doing.
Yeah, but with that said, it's like we're doing this, and at the same time, so many more people, just because of what's happening, are going to do the exact same thing, and then they're going to build up certain industries. Because I mean, at this point, you know, there's going to be other media professionals out there who's wanting to be looking for a job, and they're going to have to be hired by Jammin with Juice.
But see, that's why I think like with everybody going into their own industries and maybe becoming entrepreneurs, kind of like how we did, it makes me question, like, is that going to be sustainable for a lifetime? You know, like. Yeah, it could be, but I'm saying if everybody is out here, because think about it, a show like ours, or even just podcasting, live casting shows, media, whatever, it relies heavily on what? Businesses and advertisements, right? If a lot of those businesses go under, or if a lot of these businesses don't have no money, and you got way more people who are making their own shows and things like that, things become scarce. Like they definitely do. And I'm saying in 20, 30 years, what is that really going to look like? You know, I mean, like what is media going to look like in 20 to 30 years? And that's just our industry. But I'm thinking of all of the industries, everybody who has a business, like, will we be able to sustain ourselves for the long term?
I mean, maybe money will go null and void in the next 10 years and we go back to like a barter system, you know, where you give me something for something and I give you something for something. who knows? But eventually, we will figure a new way of commerce because obviously after the pennies got thrown away or whatever, it's telling you eventually we're moving to a cashless society. And
Speaking that,
I don't know if everybody is going to go ahead and move into cryptocurrency or not. So.
okay.
Yeah.
We have someone on the line?
We do.
All right,
Call in.
414-360-8999. You guys, that is the phone number that you guys can call so you can keep on talking to us about this conversation. But what happens to the world, to society, if women stop working? Do you feel like, the degrees being taken away from our nurses and other fields?
Domestic violence is finna go up, man. You gonna finna
Don't
still
say
have
that.
That's what's gonna happen.
But what do you think all of that means? Why is this even being done, and what do you think about it?
You're going to have Paul beating up Kelly. That's
okay, let's keep going.
All right, let's talk to who we about to talk to. I think I know who this is, though.
Oh, who do you think it is?
Anita Nicole.
Is it Miss Anita Nicole?
Is it Anita Nicole? What's up? What's happening?
Good morning.
Top of the morning.
Good
To
morning,
you.
Juicy Jammer.
Yes, how are you two doing today?
Amazing.
We just
All right. So regarding this morning's topic, I do find this topic interesting. I think what we have to realize is that the workforce is a competitive industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than a basketball game, a football game. It's competition, and it starts at to people being in school, etc. Who's learning? What are they learning? And then that just translates, through what's happening in society.
Yeah.
What I will say as it relates to women specifically, women were never designed in man's eyes to work outside of the home. Women had to work outside of the home because of what was happening with the economy way back in the day when we was at war and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what it did was it forced women to come outside of the homes during war and to work, to help sustain income for the households. What they didn't realize was how smart and adaptable women are.
Mm-hmm.
And so we took that little slither and we ran with it. And we started dominating, and we started getting confidence, and it just built and built and built to where we are today. Now, the issue I think that they're having, not only did they not understand that we as women can do these things, you throw then job loss on top of that. You then throw Black people who wasn't offered opportunities. Now there's a big pool of work that's happening, a big pool of employees. So then you throw AI on top of that. Then you throw the shutdown on top of that. And you throw all these things on top of it. And then somebody's light bulb clicks and they say, well, wait a minute. We have to decrease the number of people that are applying for jobs, that are being able to have these jobs. And the only way we can do that is by doing what they're doing now. So try to eliminate women out of the industry, try to eliminate Black people out of the industry and minorities. So it's almost like it's a way to stop the competition. So it's bigger than what we think it is. It's really, we never intended for women to do what they're doing, and we definitely didn't intend for the Black and brown communities to do what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're trying to control the workforce population. So that's how I see it. That's just my perspective.
No, Miss Anita, I think you're spot on with that. Like I said, I think they saw exactly what had been going on for the past 50 years, and now they're trying to roll everything back. And again,
and it's too late.
It really is too late. It's far too gone. The Pandora's box is open. And it's unfortunate that they still think this way. But as I said before, I feel like this type of ideology or whatever, this pathology will one day become extinct because, Donald Trump may be the face of what they got going on right now, of their idealisms. But one day, man, the people like us will rise up and get into those seats of power, and we can continue to push this nation forward, instead of pushing it backward.
Right. And I will say this, and I'm going to let you all go, of course, but, we just have to stay encouraged and do what we're doing, because one thing that we do as a people, we know how to adapt. We know how to shift. We know how to learn fast. We know how to pivot. So, we good at some curveballs, and that's to our advantage. We used to, okay, we got a little obstacle, how we get around it, what we got to do. We good at that. We were raised to adapt and to change and to move around and to keep our eyes open and be observant.
Keep
We
your
was
head on
never
swivel.
just, designed to just sit on the bench and say, woe is me now, what do I do? No, it's like, okay, let's get back in the game, what we got to do. So I just encourage people, it's just keep going. If you want to get the degree, if you want to go to school for nursing, keep doing that, because it's not really always about the degree. It's about the person. So if you bring what you bring to the table, it don't matter what they call it. They can call it a certificate. They can call it a degree. They can call it a piece of paper.
Right.
But once you in that job and you do what you got to do, you could be the director of nursing within a particular facility. So just keep doing you and being you and just keep going. That's my advice for people.
That's your drop of
like
juice.
that.
That's your drop of juice.
Because we're going to be
All
straight
right.
regardless. We're going to figure it out regardless.
Thanks, Mr.
You
Nita.
can't
God
hold
bless
us
you.
down. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
You're welcome. Love y'all. Take care.
Love you
Bye.
too. God bless you. Be safe.
Yep,
I
thank
like
you.
it.
Bye.
No, but she made some points though. We will figure it out eventually, because that's just what we always have done.
Yeah, no, and I agree with what she said. I think that at the end of the day, whatever degree if they want to drop it from a degree to a certificate, as long as you got that life experience, you can apply it to some in some shape or form. You can apply it. And again, as we were saying before, some people may go into their own private practice after this, right? And personally, I said this last week. It sounds like to me, if the workforce is lessening up or whatever, but people out here have the experience to be a doctor, be a dentist, be a therapist, sounds like to me that, I might have my own private doctor. I may end up having my own family doctor. That's how it was back in the day. Have your own family doctor that you could rely on. They knew everything about your medical history, knew everything about your family's medical history, knew everything that your wife needed to know, your kids. So
I just wonder how much that they would charge you.
That's a good question.
Because what's the pricing gonna be? Because what's the point? I don't want to say what's the point of having like your own doctor, your own dentist, and you can't afford them because they gotta look out, because what they do is expensive. Like that's why it costs so much, and that's why you need insurance for it and things like that, because it's astronomical pricing.
That's true.
So for someone to be doing it on
low.
their own, I just wonder how accessible financially it might be for everyone to be able to do that.
I just don't need somebody who like a botched doctor. You know what I'm saying? As long as I also
that's
know
what you
botches,
gonna get if they only charging you $30.
It depends though. It depends on where we're at.
That's what you gonna get.
Because right
teeth
now
messed up, everything. Just
no, you funny, bro. But no, bro. Like, because when I even think about it, there's doctors right now who literally get paid about like $500 per appointment that they actually have per day. So and some doctors only see you for 15 or 20 minutes, maybe 30, and maybe 40 if they actually feeling really good about what they got going on with you or whatever. But they get paid a significant amount of money, but a lot of that money still goes back to the hospital that they're working out of. So what happens when that hospital goes under? Freighter goes under, Ascension goes under. We were just talking about
it's the crumbling of everything. And honestly, it raises a good question for another day of, do you want to even still stay in America? I know people talk about it all the time, but it's like, man,
go to Thailand.
Somewhere, go over there overseas. I don't know, but I don't know. It's a lot going on in the world, and I just try to stay encouraged and stay positive and stay motivating everybody else to keep going as well.
Josh Jammin says, look, I work at the hospital and these nurses are already burned out. Shaking my head. This move will increase the stress. They want these nurses to stay at bedside. Shaking my head. It's nasty work. So, I mean, if you already got a stressed out labor force, sounds like they're going to put more stress on that particular labor force. And, like we said before, what happens when you showed up at the freighter and you got 100 people in front of you? I mean, it sounds like to me more people are going to be dying. So
it's messed up, but that is why we have Sip to That Friday. Let us know what you are sipping on, sipping for, sipping to this weekend, you guys. You can either call us, let us know at 414-360-8999, or you could put in the chat, okay? What are you guys sipping for, sipping to, or sipping on this weekend? It could be something good that you're happy about that happened to you this weekend, something positive that you want to tell the people, or even just, something that made you mad where you like, man, I can't wait for the weekend because this person had me messed up. Let us know about it. All right. Put it in the chat. We're going to get to it when we come back, and we're going to give you guys our Sip to That Friday. Keep it locked. We got more on Jammin with Juice.